Hey, welcome to a brand new chapter of Old Man Brad. Whether you are new to the show or returning for another chapter, thank you so much for giving me a listen. If you love the show, drop me a review over in your favorite podcast app or become a patron, patreon.com/oldmanbrad. So this week I have a new film that is dropping the day this episode releases, and that is a movie called The Ruse, which will be hitting select theaters May 16th, so the day this comes out. But before we dive into chatting The Ruse, if you are in the Cincinnati area, come out to Frightful Fridays on the third Friday of the month. I'm so thankful to be partnered with the Esquire to bring you horror screenings. The day this drops, we are going to be screening John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. Just make sure to keep it right here, or follow the Esquire Theater for our future screenings. We're still working on what my screenings for the summer will be. We're trying to figure those out. Come out third Friday of the month, and let's watch a movie together. All right, let's dive into The Ruse.
Do you have any trouble finding the place?
Not really.
Looks like her last day just took off.
It's nice, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, very.
I sold all the others. I wanted to die here.
They tell you?
Did he tell me what?
The house is haunted.
Olivia?
Did he wake you?
What?
Albert. I told him to leave you alone.
He's here now?
He's in the hall watching us.
What makes you think there's a ghost?
I saw it upstairs in the window.
The last nurse, Kasey, she was under a lot of stress too.
I spoke with the agency today and they said no one's heard from her.
The young live-in nurse mysteriously disappeared several nights ago from the home of her patient, world-renowned composer Olivia Stone.
I wouldn't want to be cooped up in a big house all alone either. Not being able to leave because of your responsibility to the patient. I mean, it's got to feel like you're trapped, right?
Let's get lonely. Can't be much company bags in that case.
Remember about the night your previous aide disappeared?
She didn't disappear. She left me.
They're using you because they couldn't find anybody else. What happened last time wasn't your fault.
I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't arrived.
An in-home caregiver fears for her life after being assigned to a mysterious elderly patient in a remote seaside home. This is written and directed by Stephen Mena. It stars Veronica Cartwright, Michael Steger, Drew Moorline, Madeline Dundon, and many others. Overall, this film is kind of mixed for me, just because the way things kind of play out more than anything else. The performances in this movie are fantastic. Veronica Cartwright, great. Madeline Dundon, she is great. It's just some of the story and some of the way this kind of cat and mouse play out that I was bummed that things didn't go a different way or pick up a little sooner. Like, the movie starts out with a caregiver who is kind of at her night shift, and Olivia, played by Veronica Cartwright, is the person she's taking care of. She is showing like dementia. She needs to be taken care of. She can't be left alone. Lo and behold, something happens. This caregiver leaves or disappears. You know, they call Madeline Dundon's character Dale, call her to bring her in on short notice. She's been on leave from this company and was like, this is my second chance. This is my chance to get back in. I have to do this. So she takes over. There's a weird neighbor played by Michael Steger. There's another neighbor. Like, it's this small seaside town. So there's another person that brings the groceries by. And all the while, as it's going through the movie, it is fairly slow, which I was fine with. But there came a point where I needed it to pick up, because I was like, okay, we're getting to a point here where you're leading on with all these different characters, like the detective, the delivery guy, the neighbor. There's the neighbor's little girl. There are the older lady and everything else. And the way the story kind of goes, it makes you kind of suspect some foul play or other things are afoot here in this little town, in this little seaside area, in this house. And it goes a bit slow. And honestly, you can really figure out who is behind everything pretty easily. It wasn't a shock when we get to the end and we find out who is doing all this, what their motivations are, what's going on. It didn't surprise me. I was like, oh, that's it? That is kind of a bummer. The thing that kind of made me laugh as we went, like the police officers, the detective, how easily he kind of points fingers. Like at one point you think it's one person, so they arrest him. Okay, we got the person. And then things still happen. And they're like, well, no, it must be you. We're going right at you right away. And then while they're interrogating, at one point they think it's Madeline. So they're interrogating her. They're like, oh, wait, aren't you this or isn't this? And you're just like, really? Wouldn't you have kind of gone through all the facts before rushing to judgment? But I don't know. It wasn't a terrible movie. It was very well done, very well acted. Like I said, Veronica Cartwright and Madeline Dundon are fantastic in it. Michael Steger is really good. It did keep me engaged through the film, but when we kind of got to that third act, it just kind of got to a point where I'm like, well, I bet it's this, or I bet this person is doing this, as it's trying to point fingers at many different places to try to fool you before it's like, here it is. Unfortunately for me, it didn't surprise, it didn't shock, and I wanted more of a cat and mouse kind of setup through it. It just kind of seemed to wrap up pretty quickly, if that makes sense. So overall, The Ruse is a very light recommend. It's one of those that for the acting and for most of the story, I would say check it out, but it's one of those movies that I think will just kind of get swept under the rug. It's not a movie I don't think I'll watch over and over again. It was just okay. As I've been doing this year, I've been doing double features to watch with whatever movie I talk about for the week. And this one really trying to figure out a good movie that would kind of play along with this seaside story, this cat and mouse kind of mystery thriller. I came up with one of a movie that I talked about last year, absolutely loved, that is a similar kind of movie where it is a caregiver coming in to take care of a character. And that is Dr. Jekyll, starring Eddie Izzard and Scott Chambers. Absolutely love this movie. Eddie Izzard is phenomenal in it. And it is a movie that I think would play with The Ruse very well, as kind of watch The Ruse where you're like, okay, that was fine. It was, it is what it is. And then watch Dr. Jekyll, because you're going to get a lot of that, back and forth, one-on-one, two characters, what's going on. It kind of has a twist ending that I didn't completely see coming, but Eddie Izzard is so good in the movie that even if you don't watch it with The Ruse, you need to just watch Dr. Jekyll on its own. And it's streaming on the Roku channel or on Peacock if you have Peacock. Highly recommend checking out Dr. Jekyll. Watch it with The Ruse as your double feature, or go check it out on its own, honestly. On my way out, I want to tell you about the Paramount Plus hit series Landman Season 1, starring Billy Bob Thornton, Demi Moore, and John Hamm, is now available on DVD and Blu-ray with over 85 minutes of special features. Landman Season 1, own it now. I will tell you, if you are at the Super Cincy Expo this weekend, I will have copies of this movie to give away. So come play some of our fun games that we will have throughout the weekend, and you could win yourself an amazing prize. Well, that will do it for this chapter of Old Man Brad. Just make sure you subscribe to the show, and you will never miss any chapter of the show or any of my other episodes like Tales from Tubi or Versus. Next week, I will have another review for a new film called Restless, as well as other fun things coming down the pipeline. But just make sure you subscribe and you won't miss it. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.